Welcome to Chicago. I'm Justin.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jeremy Alexander Newsome. Welcome to your Wednesday real life stock review. Hey traders from around the world, welcome to your Wednesday real life stock review. I trust you are doing serendipitously splendid. It is indeed Wednesday, the 25th of July, and we had a nice bullish move out there in the market. You'll notice the pink line is Mr. Squiggles, and we drew this back on the 17th of July, and really that was pretty much perfect what it did. We had a flag pattern in the last 4 days. You had a really decent retest gap yesterday on the SPY, and we really just surged monstered higher on SPY. So decent little pop. We're getting towards the end of July with only a few trading days left, and the SPY is working on making new all-time highs before August. Pretty incredible stuff. I like the move, I like the gap, I like the trend. Interesting to see what SPY does, but from here most likely go higher, and again just buy the dip if and when she does get a little bit of a pullback. Here's the Dow Jones, up 0.72%. That looks good, good volume, good close. You know, probably get a little bit of a pullback tomorrow, but it should be a dip buying opportunity. Retest gap on the Qs, right? This is again another new all-time high. So if the Qs pulls back a little bit and then bounces, I mean, most likely could easily continue higher from there as well. So that's the Qs, and yeah, that's pretty much the broader market. I do have a bear call spread on TLT, which is the Treasury bonds, and that's the 125, 126. There was a lot of discussions about bonds and the 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year flat yield curve here at the, well, not here, there, at the Trader Expo Money Show in Chicago, Illinois. That's where myself and a lot of other real-life traders actually were located at from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I'm back in Nashville. I'll be back in Nashville here for about another month until I go out on a joyous vacation, probably for 2 or 3 days, maybe even back up in Chicago to hang out with some of my buddies from college for a fantasy football draft. But between now and then, be locking down and accomplishing and making tons of new videos, content, articles. Stay tuned for that. Let's go look at some gaps that happened today. IRBT, sensational bullish gap and go. Got to give a shout out to my buddy Michael Ward over there in Austin, Texas, who scorched this one for 2 Rs. And guess where he exited? He exited at $89 right there. Really beautiful move on IRBT. Fantastic gap. And this one was really just painfully easy. Bullish move. Retested the pre-market high. Bounced off the pre-market high, right? That was that S curve. Boom. Nice little move higher. Had to lock in. Had to make some money by that point. So beautiful stuff. And my good buddy Blake Anderson was actually talking about that in the Slack channel last night before this gap even occurred. In fact, I'll be posting that video for everyone tomorrow on the Real Life Trading channel, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, that's pretty much IRBT. I did not day trade at all today personally, even though some traders in the room did score some gainages on AT&T, that little bit of a bearish gap and go right there. Speaking of a bearish gap and go, it appears that your boy Facebook is actually gapping down a little bit on earnings. Well, actually, they did great on earnings, but they're missing their estimate on monthly active users. So this is actually one of the first times that Facebook has gapped down on earnings in a while. But right now we're gapping down to 201 and some change. It is quite extended. I agree on that. I will be watching it for a bearish move tomorrow, but don't be surprised if we get a little bit of a fade here on Facebook. I'll be watching it almost all day tomorrow. If it trades down to 193.27, I think there'll be a buyable event. Yes, it is a bearish gap and go, but you have to keep in mind this is a really, really strong trend, and it's not really changing the trend that much. So tomorrow, I'll be looking at doing some put sales on Facebook at open, probably somewhere around the 175 range, maybe for August or September. But again, this is a beautiful trend. This likely will end up being a really great dip buying opportunity for the most part, and you know, we'll see. But I'll do some more peering over their actual numbers momentarily. but there were some good opportunities to do some covered calls on Facebook, locking a collar. I mean, today was its literal all-time high. So if you have more than 100 shares at Facebook, there was no reason not to get into a call at covered call or a collar at some magnitude. And I was talking about this recently. You do have some divergence on on the RSI. So let me pull up the RSI. This is the weekly chart, and you'll notice we are making, so here's the higher high, and we haven't quite made a higher high on the RSI. So a little bit of divergence. I like the higher low. Tons of people probably jumping on Facebook bullish up here at this particular point. They might be trapped because obviously the trend is already moved. But yeah, let's see what Facebook does between now and market open. I'll be watching it closely. The 50 will be a pretty strong level on Facebook. We'll likely get a little bit of a lower shadow and then some type of bounce. But yeah, watch it closely. It won't be the easiest trade at all. It could be just an absolute waterfall, but I kind of doubt it. If it does waterfall, just trade massively lower. I'll look to bounce off the 100, 200. But yeah, let's watch it all day tomorrow and keep some close eyes on it. BABA had a really good move today, up 4.7%. This is actually one that I was going to be doing a weekly options newsletter on it, and it was either going to be BABA or Microsoft. Both actually working out pretty well so far. My buddy George, I think, bought to close this put sale today for about 70% of a gain, so he sold that put sale around this particular region. Ash is in this trade. Matt's long, so he got into this one with his kids' college funds. A lot of traders in BABA. It looks like a beautiful double bottom to me. Really nice gap. So look for a little bit of a pullback and then a dip. But you guys all know long term, I'm pretty bullish on BABA. And we do expect it to trade, or at least I expect it to trade up into the 260 region. Maybe by the end of the year. Might not quite make it by there. But at some point, I mean, you still have a long way to go on BABA. So that's just kind of my thoughts. Let's open up some stocks that were requested for today. And CRVN was one of them. CRVN, unless it's CRNV. I don't think I typed it in wrong, but I might have. The other person could have typed it in wrong. Maybe it's Carvana. I'll look at Carvana. I don't think it's supposed to be Carvana, but if you requested CRVN, just let me know in the chat pane below, and I'll try to look at something else. Carvana, good-looking trend, just a slow, steady grind. Earnings not too far in the distance. You got this nice little morning star reversal, decent bounce off the 20. Trend is strong. I know I've told a few people this, but back at the real life trading cruise that we did back here in April, this was one of the stocks that I told everyone on the cruise, if you're going to buy, this is the time. And Carvana was one, IQ was the other. So if you're in Carvana, cool. Trend right now looks decently well, and earnings again is around the corner. So if it gaps down on earnings, look to buy the dip, unless, of course, it opens below 35.75, which appears it would trap a lot of folks. Next on the list for today is DWCH. Which one is that one? Data Watch Corporation. All right. So Data Watch up 3% today. Nice lower shadow. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly looks good. This is the first time I pulled up this chart, obviously. I've never even heard of it before. Here's your exponential moving averages. Trend looks good. Volume looks good. Volume is not outrageously ostentatious. On the weekly chart, you're only getting about 500 shares on average. But you got to like that hammer candle on a weekly. A few weeks in a row of up movement. But that's a really good gap on earnings. And I would agree that that looks like a nice dip buying opportunity specifically today. And the highs of these two candles are the exact same. So DWCH, if you're looking at playing that one, I mean, I would get in bullish with a move above 1385. If you can get so lucky to get another pullback to about 1255, that would really be the most preferential place to enter. But whoever requested DWCH, that trend does look semi-healthy. Next on the list is UXIN. UXIN. So this is a new IPO that most of you likely received an email from my beautiful and lovely and gorgeous and all-around awesome fiance. She's listening right now. Ashley. She sent out that IPO. Interesting. I don't know if my website just went down or not, but you guys got the, yeah, it might be down. Weird. Anyway, you guys got the IPO, by the time that you're getting this review and recording, this will be back up and working. Probably need to upgrade my server again. I mean, at the money show, I was telling a bunch of people about real life trading. Might be getting flooded with tons of users, but that's always a good thing. So anyway, UXIN on the IPO list. Go to reallifetrading.com to check that out. It's also in your email inbox. Keeping a close eye for this morning star reversal pattern to play out. You have a higher low. You got some lower highs. On an hourly chart, this looks really toasty. So let's just keep an eye on for that to bounce. Watching it closely. New IPO. It's going to be interesting. IBM also got requested not too long ago. Here's the daily chart on IBM, and this is a retest gap. Now, I'm not personally playing this so that everyone knows. I'm not a big fan of IBM. But here's the long-term moving averages, right? So you got the 100 punching you in the face. You got the 200 at 149.57. And on the weekly chart, you got the 200 and the 100. So this thing is going, it's pretty much the definition of sideways. I mean, you're stuck in between the 100 and 200 on two major time frames. So you could play it non-directionally. If I were going to play it directionally, however, I would look for a break above here, 147.14, and my stop would probably go at 144.78. And that, of course, would get me above this resistance, this wick right here. It'd kind of break above the 200 on a weekly and kind of get above that 100 on a daily. Otherwise, I'd probably look to leg into a bull put spread, then at some point get into a condor, or if you can find good money, just go ahead and hop into the condor, but there's really not tons on IBM right now. And last but not least, as far as the recording, AMAT, this is all the requests that I got for today. I'll be hopping into the afternoon swing trading room here in about 35 minutes. I had a trade set up on this one not too long ago and ended up canceling it. Keep an eye out on it though. Yes, the 100 simple coming into a support. Obviously, you can see it's a nice bullish trend. This is the 100 on a weekly chart. Here's the daily, decent lower shadow. I mean, earnings is about a month away. So if you're looking at playing AMAT down here, I actually do have a decent setup that you could consider. Entry would be here at 46.15, and the stop loss would probably go below that 100 on a weekly, just to really give you a nice amount of wiggle room for you to eventually increase that stop. So here's the long-term moving average, and that is right about here. 43.34. So you're risking about $3, and obviously, I mean, your ultimate target, if you're holding on long enough, could really move monstrously well up into that $58 price range. It all comes down to time frame, right? Is it an investment? Is it a trade? Is it a bill-paying trade? In and out. But I do like the hammer. I do like the lower shadow. I do like the higher low kind of right here. So if you're looking at playing AMAT, that's how I would. Otherwise, you could also maybe even consider selling a put or something like that nature. I did sell a put on MU not too long ago, and I posted this one as well. I bought to close it, so I sold almost the exact low on Friday for 30 cents, was able to buy to close today for 12 cents on MU, so already realized the put sale gain on that, which was pretty sweet. So I'll be looking at doing that again on MU, maybe even for September or a little bit later if we slowly trickle down, which I don't necessarily expect, just simply saying if we do. We shall see. Tons of stuff to look at, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping an eye on a lot of things. IQ is up 6%. You're still above the 50 EMA on a weekly, which is nice. I've been watching for some put sale premium. You don't have tons, but it looks like we're just going to slowly accumulate here and kind of bounce around. As long as we don't close below the 50 EMA on the weekly, on the daily chart, on IQ over the next few weeks, we should be okay to continue higher. But that's really going to be, at least in my opinion, a strong line in the sand. And last but not least, Microsoft. We got in almost at the exact low today on a really saucy trade. This was a weekly options newsletter setup that I sent out about 10:15 p.m. Eastern last night. So if you're in on Microsoft, congrats. Good volume, good gap, good trend. A lot of real-life traders making some money off of Microsoft, so congrats all around. Throw those requests in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Ladies and gentlemen, Real Life Trading still one of the fastest growing trading education companies on the internet, and there are a lot of them because it's the most competitive space, I would argue, on the interwebs. I mean, the stock market. there's a lot of us. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being a part of the team. Thank you for your help in enriching lives as the mission of Real Life Trading. I will see you all later. And until then, love life, and trade it. You rock. Bye.